Hey, this is Urban Dub. I'm going to go for a patch today called Prodigy Sci-Fi Bass. It's taken from my brand new Serum Neuro pack. This patch is very different to a lot of the basses and other sounds I've made. It's really based around abusing filters and distortions and doing some unorthodox things with Serum. So let's listen to the sound with some drums. I'm going to start off by turning everything off but one oscillator. So let's listen to the oscillator on its own. We've got basic shapes, and I've used this saw. I've used mirror, which is in this drop down section. So I've assigned LFO1 to the mirror and to the level. It's on triggering and it's not on BPM synced. So let's put oscillator B on, play the sound. Very subtle, but it all come together once it's compressed and distorted. So let's put the noise generator in. A slight amount of white noise, and I've used some FM synthesis, sending the white noise to this oscillator here. So LFO1 is modulating the noise and the level. So I've fine-tuned these two oscillators against each other, this one down -27, this up 43. So it's creating a Reese effect. So let's move on to the filter, turn it on. I've used this band EQ, which is in the mist section, and I've routed through oscillator A, oscillator B, and the noise. Sub's not actually on, so I'll turn that off. And I've turned this filter key track on as well. So when I play across the keyboard, the filter point will move. I've got the cutoff at 1173 Hz. Res is quite high up, 91%. Panning over 63. Mix at 62%. dB plus and minus 15%, and the drive up quite high, which is 77%. The main factor of this filter that gives it such a rich sound is a lot to do with the drive. So envelope 1 shapes the sound. We've got the attack at 7.2, hold at 63 milliseconds, decay at 486, and the release at 105. So let's go over to the effects section, turn them on one by one. So the EQ section, I've assigned LFO1 to the gain, created a bell shape, and a slight amount to the top end. So you can see it modulates. Put the hyper and dimension on, creating some stereo. Add the flanger. Add some chorus for some more depth. Down to the distortion section, I've used X shaper here. Drawn this slope on. Have the drive assigned to LFO1, and the mix is at 31%. Down to the reverb, let's turn it on. I've assigned envelope 1 to the size of the reverb, mix is at 36%, taken out some of the lows and the highs, and the pre-delay is on 0. So this filter here is where a lot of the craziness of this sound comes from. Let's turn it on. So I've used this flange minus here. I've assigned envelope 2 to the cutoff. Res up, drive up quite high, 74%, and the mix is at 87%. It's really interesting what this filter does to the sound on the tail of it. It almost makes it sound like it's a delay. So the compressor here squashes the sound together. It's not in multi-band mode, it's just there to sort of add a bit more fatness to the sound. So let's go back to the oscillator page. You've got these basic shapes with a saw shape, mirroring. This oscillator here, saw rounded to square. You've got some FM synthesis happening from the noise generator. We have LFO assigned to many parameters throughout the synth. We have a filter set on band EQ 12. Remember the drive is really important. Adds that thickness and distortion. And then we've got the effects section, which we've just covered. So with this patch, I've set up different macros to do different things. Down here you can see detune, mangle, tweak, and white. So detune is pretty much what it says. It detunes the sound ever so slightly. Tweak or mangle are quite important. You can see there's a lot of scope with this sound. You can do many different things with it. You can use it as sound effects, lead lines, or atmospherics really. White noise down here just adds more white noise, and so on. So yeah, this patch is pretty crazy. It sounds almost like a modular synth, an FM synth. I've not really heard a patch like this come out of Serum before. So if you've got any questions about this patch, please leave them in the comments below. If you've got any other tutorials you want done on Serum, also leave them in the comments below, I'll get back to you. I leave a link to my sample packs in the description. And yeah, just hit me up. Cool, have a good day.